text or a phone call that seemed fairly suspicious? It might have even come or purported to come from an agency or an organization that you're familiar with and you regularly deal with. If so, you're not alone. What we're going to talk about in this video is a series of important ideas to help seniors enjoy all that the cyberspace has to offer, but protect themselves against a set of attacks and a set of strategies that criminals use to target seniors and to target people who trust. Hi, I'm Dr. Jeff Donaldson, CEO and Principal Researcher at Preparedness Labs Incorporated, a Canadian research and education firm into risk, resilience, and preparedness. I'm also a 28-year Canadian Army veteran, and I made this video for my mother. My mother is getting into her 80s, is having some challenges that go along with that age, and she is an incredibly wonderful and trusting soul. But she is somebody who is very susceptible to a phone scam, a hacking scam, or others. So I thought I would put together this piece of information for you as the start point of your journey with us here at Preparedness Labs Incorporated, to give you some very solid ideas, some very solid strategies to start your journey, and that we will build on those together as we go throughout the monthly calls or the on-demand or the lives as we see fit based upon events that are happening around the world, to provide you the latest and best information summated together in one place, so that you're not scrambling and looking around and trying to find what is going on in the cyber world, what's the latest threat, what do I have to be worried about. We've put this together in this start video, and then we're going to bring it to you in follow-on videos. So I hope you enjoy. And here's why this matters. Scammers often target seniors because many of them have savings that they've built up over their lives, and they're far more trusting, and they're less familiar with the latest set of technology. I mean, in 2023 alone, seniors over 60 lost a staggering $3.4 billion. That's a B, to cybercrime. On average, each scam costs the senior $34,000. That's not a small amount of money. That's a significant portion of your nest egg that you've created and put together to keep you and your family safe as you grow older. Let me tell you about Mary, a 72-year-old grandmother who got an email that looked like it was from her bank. It said her account was in trouble and she needed to send money right away to fix it. Trusting the email, she sent $5,000, only to find out that it was a scam. Stories like Mary's happen every day, but the good news is you can protect yourself. Now, more seniors are online than ever before. 88% of adults over 65 use the internet, and 76% use smartphones. That's amazing. It means seniors are staying connected with family, shopping online, or even video chatting with their grandchildren. But it also means that scammers have much more ways to reach seniors through emails, texts, or social media. And here's the truth. You're not alone, and you don't have to be a tech expert to stay safe. In this video, we're going to walk you through the most common scams, simple ways to protect yourself, and what to do if something goes wrong. By the end, you'll have the tools to outsmart the scammers and feel confident online and working in cyberspace. And now that we know why seniors are targeted, let's look at some of the most common tricks they use. We'll keep it simple and straightforward so that you know what to look out for. These scams come through emails, texts, phone calls, or even some form of social media. But once you know the signs, you'll be ready to listen, to identify, and we'll provide you the hacks and the ways to keep yourself safe. First, we're going to look at fake emails, texts, or calls, often called phishing. These are messages pretending to be from someone you trust, like your bank, or in this case, the Canadian Revenue Agency. They might say your account is locked, send us your password, or ask you to click on a link. In 2022 alone, over 300,000 seniors reported these types of scams. And if you'll see, it's a very subtle change. In front of you is the real Revenue Canada email address. Below are two scams that have been used in the past as an example to spoof or to fake looking like they're from the Canada Revenue Agency. In the first one, a number 1 is added after the word Canada, and in the second one, an extra A is in the misspelling of Canada. It's often very subtle for you to use, but one of the first defense mechanisms that you do have is to verify the email address from which they're sending you or from the website in which they're asking you to visit. Of note, Revenue Canada won't actually ever send you a link to click, and we're going to talk about Revenue Canada specific ways to stay safe, as well as Service Canada, but the government will never send you a link to click in an email or call you saying you need to provide a password. If any of those things happen, then you are not communicating with the Government of Canada. The next is tech support scams. You might see a pop-up on your computer saying, "Warning, your computer has a virus," or get a call from someone claiming to fix your device. They'll ask you to pay for fake repairs or let them control your computer. These scams cost seniors $590 million in 2023 alone. If you see a pop-up, don't call the number, just close it or ask someone for help. Another big one is unfortunately romance scams. Scammers pretend to be the love interest online, building trust over weeks or months, and then ask for money for things like medical bills or travel. In 2023 alone, these scams took $356 million from seniors, especially women or those who have lost a spouse. If someone you've only met online asks for money, stop and talk to a family member or someone you trust. It is more than likely a scam. Then there are investment scams promising quick money with no risk. They might come through emails or social media ads saying things like invest 1,000 and get 10,000. These scams cost seniors $1.2 billion in 2023. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Finally, grandchild scams. You might get a call saying, "Grandma, it's me, I'm in trouble and need money." The caller pretends to be a relative in an emergency. And with the advances of artificial intelligence right now, it does not take long for scammers to download social media videos or online videos of your actual grandchild, synthesize the voice so well that you would not understand, and then follow and track the current activities of your grandchildren online, find the fact that they are away doing something, and then make the call at that time. That is how good that scam has become. By recognizing these scams, you're already stronger than the scammers. And next section, we're going to talk about why seniors are at risk and how to stay protected. Now let's talk why seniors are often targeted by scammers and what's new in the world of scams. Don't worry if you feel like tech is tricky. Scammers target everyone. The first is that seniors are a target. For many of us, technology like smartphones or social media is still pretty new. Scammers know this and they use it to their advantage, sending fake emails or creating tricky websites that look real. It's okay if you're still learning. Nobody really knows much about tech. We don't know it all, and it most certainly doesn't make us weak, but what it can make us is vulnerable. Another reason is that many seniors are naturally trusting, especially when someone claims to be from the government or from a bank. Scammers might call to pretending it to be an official, asking for some very personal information. That trust is a wonderful quality, but scammers are using it and taking advantage of it. One of the most prominent trends is calls from Service Canada claiming that your social insurance number has been fraudulently used or it's flagged as being used in some type of fake mortgage, and they're looking for your personal information to access your account to protect it. They sound official, they sound very helpful, they're not demanding, and they come across as exactly what they're pretending to be: Government of Canada employees. Another prominent way to access your personal information is through programs like Facebook and other social media that we use to communicate with our family and our friends. And there'll be quizzes or things such as that come across with some very specific questions that draw out personal information that may or may not be included in your likely passwords. Here's the good news. Knowing why you're likely a target and knowing some of the avenues that they will choose puts you in a great position to be ready to defend. In the next section, we're going to talk about the actual steps that you can take to make yourself safer online and to mitigate the threat and the risk of being scammed. Now that we've looked at what can happen, why it can happen, and why seniors like yourself are very much a target, we're going to give you some very specific strategies on exactly what you can do. Think of these as like locking your door, putting the deadbolt on, and pulling the chain across before you go to bed at night, providing you that extra security of which you can do today to continue to enjoy exploring the internet and using all of its possible tools while mitigating to the greatest extent possible the risks posed by scammers. The first to remember is to verify before you act on anything, and remember to pause. This is not a race. There is absolutely nothing going on in cyberspace that you have to act right now. And remember, anybody asking you, those asking you for haste or it must be done now or you must act immediately, are likely frauds. You have the time, take the time, breathe, and then decide on what you're going to do. And the first is to learn to spot phishing. Verify web addresses, spelling. Take the time to look at the web address that you are on or you're being asked to visit. Use your browser to find the company or the agency. If they're, say, company 123, then go on to Google or through your regular browser and look for company 123. Is this the same address that I'm being asked to look at? And the key is to never click on a link that you're not 100% certain is safe. Because once you click on a link, what may be contained within that link or at the destination may seize your computer or bring malware. So in any and all situations, if you are not absolutely certain that this is exactly what it's supposed to be, then don't click a link. Go to the company's website and find the material they're looking for. This very well could be somebody giving you a quick link to make your life easier, but unless you absolutely trust them to the extent that you let them sit in your house alone while you were away on vacation, don't click their link. Use complex and strong passwords. Let your computer save it. Most modern computers now will have the ability to save in the cloud or to save in a keychain your passwords. Let the complex passwords go. If you decide that you must have a personal password that you would like to use, make sure that you change that every 30 days. And when you change it, it's not Bob Smith 1, change to Bob Smith 2. That you actually fundamentally change it, and that none of your personal passwords include your name, your pet's name, your children's name, the town you live in, the street you grew up on, that they are totally and utterly random. And in case you think you might forget, just remember this. You can have it stored in the keychain and let your computer do the work, or you can take a little book on your desk at home that you never carry out of the house with you that has a written copy of each time you change a password. That is a perfectly acceptable thing to do as long as you leave that within your house and it's not a book called Passwords on the outside that is sitting next to your computer. The next thing that you can do is use two-step authentication, otherwise known as multi-factor authentication. Add it when offered on all of your online services. And it simply means that when you log into a website, they're going to want to have a text or some other verification. Use your phone text to receive that and then to upload it, or sign up for Microsoft has an authentication app. Other processes do as well. But that you're always making a second factor to log into something that's very important to you. What's often common now on modern smartphones is to use facial recognition or thumbprint recognition to open the phone. And for many people, that is a fast and easy way to access technology. The warning is, if somebody gets your cell phone and holds it up to your face, they can open and access everything. In that case, we strongly recommend that you do not use facial recognition for your banking app or any significant information that is on your smartphone that people may have access to. Your social media, that would be fine. It's easy what you do. But when you use your banking app or an investment app, we strongly recommend that you don't use any type of biometric thumbprint or facial print, that you actually have to type in the full password each and every time. We love social media. You love social media. We love connecting and talking to people. And it's a great way to talk to grandchildren, family members that are dispersed around. But we strongly recommend, in the old school sense, post what you would be okay seeing on the front page of the Globe and Mail. It's that basic. If you're out on vacation, do you want to tell everybody that you're on vacation, aka there's nobody at home in your apartment or your condo or your home? So whatever information you would feel happy being on the front of a newspaper or Maclean's magazine is exactly what you should feel comfortable putting on social media. Talk to your people, but never talk about your money, never talk about your investments, never talk about things that are going on in your position or your job, and never talk about where you might be if you're any place other than your home. And when you're away from home, never use public Wi-Fi. Just don't do it. There's never a good time to access public Wi-Fi, whether somebody say it's secure or not. The only way you should access that is if you have something called a virtual private network, which is basically a piece of software that blocks your actual location and prevents other hackers from being on that public Wi-Fi from accessing your system. It's one of the most common attacks that happens. Is you're going to be at a hotel, so you get onto the hotel's Wi-Fi, or you're on a Via train and you get on Via train's Wi-Fi, and it's great and it's wonderful, but some hacker 3 cars away or 3 floors below you on his laptop is using all of that information and is attacking all of the computers that are on the public Wi-Fi. Create your own hotspot from your smartphone. If you don't know how to do that, simply use your data plan when you're not inside an absolute trusted Wi-Fi. Just use your data plan, limit your communications if you have to until you're back home, but don't use public Wi-Fi unsecured. Banking is one of the key areas where scams are commonplace, and we hear about the millions, if not billions of dollars lost to online scams. The key to success is to use the banking app. Banks all have apps that are secure and are protected. So while you will not use facial recognition to open them, you're going to use the password and you open them. Only communicate with your bank either in person at the branch or through the secure communications on the app. If you ever receive a phone call from someone saying they're from your bank and they'd like to ask you a few questions, etc., ask them to communicate with you through the secure communication system that is on the app. Every banking app has a way to communicate with their customers on the app. Demand that anybody on the phone use the app. And if they say it's inconvenient or they don't have access to it, you're probably not talking to the bank. And another great way to protect yourself further is if you need to contact the bank or you have some inquiries that need to be made, use the banking app itself. I'm a customer of Toronto Dominion Bank in Canada, and that banking app has an ability to call the numbers for credit card or my checking account or my investment account through the app itself. And when you do that, you are pre-cleared and pre-certified to be the person that you're supposed to be. And if you're calling through the banking app, you know you're calling the actual bank back. And these are key enabling things that makes you use the technology of the banking apps, which we love so much, and you should be able to enjoy that, but doing it in a safe and protected way. If the bank won't talk to you on the app, you're not talking to the bank. Last but most important one here in Canada is the Canada Revenue Agency and Service Canada have online secure systems which you should set up a profile and then subsequently demand all the communications through their secured online portal. The Government of Canada will never call you to ask you for information. They will never call you to advise you that your SIN number or something else is suspicious or not, or being used incorrectly. Those will never occur. So never provide any information over the phone to the government or anybody representing or pretending to be representing the government. You will need to talk at times to different government agencies, demand that they do so through the app, or tell them that you will call them back in a moment once you gather whatever information, because then you can look up and find the actual and real numbers for the real agency that's calling you. Say, may it be Passport Canada or some other interesting idea or some connection that you have. But the key is, take the time to create a proper online profile with Canadian Revenue Agency and Service Canada if necessary, and then only, and for irrespective of the reason, only communicate with the Government of Canada through their secure app. Never accept a phone call that says it's from the Government of Canada, and never accept a phone call that says that we may be in some way or another asking you for information because we're just trying to help you because the benevolent government is trying to protect your identity. You, in those cases, are not talking to the Government of Canada. Our goal here is to give you the tools so that you can stop the criminals the best you can. We can seize them from being able to get a hold of your assets and protect your family. We've covered a number of reasons why seniors are targeted, a number of reasons of how they're targeted. We've gone through a series of a number of what we think are very important ideas that if you take the time to watch this video as many times as necessary to just do these things, that you'll greatly mitigate against the potential for harm. But what if it does happen? When we really think about it, recovering lost access to social media may take a little bit of time, but the harm is not going to be significant. Where significant harm happens is with your money. Your banking app should have the ability to freeze your accounts and the ability to freeze your credit cards. Learn how to do that on your banking app now before an event happens, so that your only immediate event that is maybe time sensitive for you is to freeze your accounts on your banking app, to just take a pause. Maybe nothing is going to happen. Maybe they didn't get access to your money. Maybe you're not certain. But at least if we take that initial step, that we go into our banking apps and that we press the necessary buttons and we stop our banking app, our bank accounts from being used, we can then assess the situation. If you're having a problem on a social media account and you think you've been hacked, just go to try to change the password. If it doesn't let you change the password, or if you can't change the password, or if you can't get into your account, then you may have to go through a recovery process. This is a bit longer, and it may take a bit of investigation. So when you use a certain number of social media profiles, Facebook, for example, Facebook has a very well-defined method for you to recover an account if you think that account has been hacked. So if you use Facebook a lot, then Facebook's terms and conditions, and Facebook will have a set of methods. There's lots of YouTube videos on how to do that, to set up an alternate identity or an alternate somebody who can verify your identity to get your account back. A good friend of mine who has a YouTube channel on homesteading, and she had gotten it to a certain level and was monetized, and she clicked on one email in her Gmail account that was linked to her YouTube channel. And it was somebody asking her something simple. They were just asking her a question about homesteading, which was a great phishing attack. And she said, oh yeah, I'll help you out. And she clicked on the button, and because that link contained malware, they were able to get access to her YouTube channel, and now she couldn't produce any YouTube. She couldn't get access to her account. She couldn't do anything, and they just played some ridiculous video on repeat. It took several of us, dozens of us, who know her, support her, and care for her, to put up various different emails to YouTube on her behalf to get her account back. So whatever social media accounts you lose or you use, it is up to you to figure out what is the recovery process for each one of those if I lose it in the future. I teach preparedness and risk at the graduate education level. One of the things that we always talk to students about is you're not hacked right now, but you're probably going to be one day. What is the recovery process you intend to use when it happens? It doesn't take long. You figure it out. It may be slightly different for each of the applications you use. But basically what it allows you to do is to have it ready so that your stress level doesn't go up too high, that when your Facebook account goes upside down and you don't understand it, you know how to at least pause it and ask for help, and any other account that you use on the internet. The key to being a senior online is that you should have every right to be able to access all of the beautiful and wonderful technology that's out there and still remain a good-hearted, trusting soul. That's the point. This is why we have to give you these risk ideas. Take the time to watch this video as many times as you want. Now that you're part of the process, now that you have joined our subscription service, we will be sending out videos similar to this on various different topics of the day, at least once every month, and likely more frequently as events pop up. So if something pops up in Canada about seniors, I'll do the investigation, I'll put together a quick summary video, and I'll send it out to you, all included at your subscription rate. And the point being is this: I did this for my mother, and my mother matters to me, and you matter to people, and you've worked very hard building this country, and you deserve the right to enjoy all of the technology, even though there are people out there who will target you intentionally and try to steal your hard-earned money or your hard-earned identity. That's the reality of the world. You can't stop them from existing, but what you can do is take some significant methods and decisions that makes your online life better. And by sticking with us, I and my team here at Preparedness Labs Incorporated will be able to bring you the latest information on time, on target, the latest strategies, the latest scams, and updates. And periodically we'll be taking deep dives into Facebook to show you all of the things that Facebook has and how to secure your Facebook experience, how to secure your YouTube experience. All of that will be coming out in follow along videos. So stick with us, stay subscribed. We appreciate you. Thank you very much for joining us here at Preparedness Labs Incorporated. Seniors matter. I think you're worth it, and so does your family. Take care.